Hi my friends, Julia Dean here, and we are going to be making a great, yummy, healthy, low-carb burrito bowl. So trendy, so now, so popular, right? And they're great to make at home. All you need to know is these couple steps that I can help you out with today. So the version that we're going to be doing today is going to be with a homemade cauliflower rice, which I think is really cool and it'll be fun for you guys to learn how to do today. And then some additions that we're going to have with this burrito bowl are we're going to just add in some more vegetables, right? We're going to roast up some, onion and pepper to add some more filling, or you could saute them either way. We have some delicious black beans. Of course, we do a little bit of cilantro. We're going to add that to the cauliflower. We have avocado, lime juice always, because that gives it a little bit of zing. And then for our greens, we're going to do spinach. Obviously, you could do whatever greens you have, but we're going to use spinach today. And then we're going to add some chicken to ours. So if you didn't want to use chicken, you don't have to use chicken. You can put in something like sweet potato, or you'd be totally fine with just the black beans, because those obviously have a lot of protein as well. So for now, we're just going to season up the chicken, so you can see how we're going to do that. We're going to use just my normal house seasoning, which I use a lot at home. It's just 2 times chili powder, 1 time oregano, 1 time cumin, and I just threw a little bit of smoked paprika in there today because I really like the flavor of the smoked paprika. We're going to put a little bit of avocado oil on the chicken, and that's going to give it a little bit of slickness for the cooking, because you do need to add oil on the chicken, because remember, the chicken is pretty much fat-free anyway, so it does need that oil for, for the cooking purposes. So I'm just make sure this is all well coated with the oil here. We're going to go with a little bit of salt. So, okay, that looks good. So let's do a little bit of salt first. Remember, we're going to season now, not after our cooking, okay? So I'm going to turn it over, season the other side. All right, this is kosher salt. Remember, kosher salt's not as salty as sea salt, so either one is fine. You just should know kind of which one you have. Okay, so we're going to mix our spices here. Okay. Those look like those are pretty well mixed there. Oops. Okay, so with my fingers, going to spread those out as evenly as I can over the chicken here. Okay, that looks good. Kind of mix those around a little bit. So we're kind of mix up that seasoning as best as we can. We'll do a little bit more seasoning, I think, right? We need to do the other side. All right. And, you could use, obviously, some store-bought spice mixes. They work, pretty well, too. I just find I have the spices at home, and those are all very common spices anyway. The oregano, remember, again, it was 2 times chili powder, 1 time oregano, and 1 time cumin. Okay, so I think there's a nice kind of coating here on the chicken. So you could just go ahead and cook this chicken right on a skillet, right on a grill, bake it in the oven. Any of those would work. So then we're going to start cooking our chicken, and then I'm going to show you guys really next how to start the cauliflower rice. So we'll be right back. We are still working on our burrito bowl here, and I just want to show you guys kind of an easy way for the peppers and onions. So all I did here was just slice up the peppers and onions and put them on a sheet tray. We're just going to put a little bit of oil on them here. Remember, again, it needs a little bit of oil for something to attract to in the oven, right? A little bit of salt. Drizzle, drizzle there, salt, a little bit of pepper, right? I'm just going to take my hands and make sure they get well combined there with the salt and pepper. You could certainly saute these, you could grill them, they could be left over. It's just like, I just want to show you a couple options of, adding in some more vegetables to the burrito bowl so that, there's a little more bulk, a little more fiber, and, more vegetables. So, okay, so I'm going to put these in the oven. Whatever temperature the oven's on, it happens to be 375, so that works. 350 could work, 400 could work. It really, kind of don't overthink that part of it. So just going to stick them in until they get nice and soft, a little bit brown. Okay, now I'm going to show you the cauliflower rice. So I already started grating the cauliflower, as you can kind of see here. I don't want to kind of bore you with the details, but I'm just taking the whole cauliflower head here. I did trim off some of the bottom, so, which is totally fine. And, of course, yes, could you buy frozen cauliflower and use that? Yes, absolutely. Could you buy cauliflower rice, already done? Yes, absolutely. Like, this is getting nice and full here. Look at that. Okay, we're almost done. Hang in there with me here. All right, so just be careful of your fingers because believe it or not, these graters, these box graters are, you know, pretty sharp. Okay, almost done here. Almost done. So say if you were to had frozen cauliflower, so that you would do the exact same thing here. You would, well, that we're going to do in the pan anyway, so almost done. Let's see, this little, I don't need that piece there. Got that little big piece there. So some of the stems certainly got in here, which is fine. It's all right. Take that piece out, got one more kind of little head there. Okay. A little bit here. All right, good. So cauliflower is certainly the great low carb option, right? Okay, now I'm not against carbs, don't get me wrong. I mean, my body loves carbs, so intuitive eating, right? So my body says, ooh, no, I react really well when I have carbs. So, okay, my pan is on here, so I'm gonna add a little bit of oil. Now, of course, so it's a nice coating. I mean, not a ton, but just enough to kind of cover the whole bottom of the skillet there. Okay, so I'm gonna pour this in. That's what's nice about the parchment paper, right? There we go. Look at that. All right, so clean off my hand here. A little bit of salt because the salt's going to help pull out the moisture of the cauliflower, so it's going to help concentrate the flavors, okay? Again, I'm going to say that one more time. The salt's going to help pull out the moisture, so it's going to help concentrate the flavors, okay? Okay, that looks good. Get something to stir this up with here, a little wooden spoon. Okay. So, now, we want to make this cauliflower taste good, right? So the salt will certainly help, the pepper will help too. We're going to add in a little bit of cilantro at the end when it's all done. Oh, we got a big piece of cauliflower there, that's okay. That'll taste good. We're going to add a little bit of cilantro, we're going to add a little bit of lime, and maybe a little lime zest, like a little lime zest, lime juice. Either of those, kind of like they do the rice at Chipotle, right? They have a little bit of cilantro in there. You could add some scallions, anything a little bit green that will kind of give it that extra little oomph of flavor and color as well. All right, so we're going to give this a couple minutes. Our peppers and onions, remember, are in the oven. The chicken is all cooked, so that's all ready to go. And I'll just let this kind of go a little bit more. See how it's already reduced already? You can tell it's like it's already reduced some because there's a lot of moisture, right? So all you're really doing is concentrating the flavors, removing some of the moisture so it gets, you know, a little more dense and obviously tasty. And we'll go from there. You don't have to stir it the entire time, just kind of let it go. And we'll continue to build our really yummy, healthy, low-carb burrito bowl. Okay, so our cauliflower rice looks really good. So I can tell that it was going to be ready because it started to get brown on the bottom. So you can see a little bit of browning here because when it started to brown, I realized that no more moisture was coming out of the cauliflower. And you can tell that the amount has really reduced in volume, right? So the flavors have really started to concentrate. Now we're going to add our fresh cilantro here that I'm going to chop up. Remember, a nice tight ball in your hand. Nice tight ball, and we're going to give it a nice rough chop here. We're going to add that directly to the rice, which is going to, you know, kind of make it like that Chipotle rice, right? They have fresh cilantro in there. I'm going to add that little burst of flavor, as well as some lime zest. Maybe a teeny bit of lime juice, but really just, you know, the zest is really so strong that that will be plenty. So I tasted it. It had a great flavor. It didn't need any salt, so the salt level was good. Look at that. Just by adding the cilantro, you can already tell that's going to be so yummy. So here goes our zest. Probably not the whole lime, but just enough that it's going to, like, you know, really kick up the flavor. This is going to be such a delicious bowl. Like, I'm so excited. And like I said, don't feel like, you know, you certainly don't need to add in the chicken. Like I said, we're going to add chicken because I just like to give people the options. But you could certainly, you know, add more carbs, like a, you know, a healthier carb like a sweet potato or some squash or even like 2 types of beans, right? You could do pinto beans and black beans. Okay, so that's about half a lime. I'm going to mix this all together. I mean, it smells so good. It smells like so yummy and fresh and just has that great, you know, kind of scent here. Just take a close look here. I really want you guys to see this. So you can kind of see, I mean, look at that. Doesn't that look great? I mean, awesome. See the browning here? You know, you can tell. Remember, you can see a little bit of the browning on the skillet. I'm just going to give this a quick little taste here for you because I like my job and I'd like to be able to taste for you. Make sure it tastes good. It's so important to taste your food. Like, and if it doesn't taste good, like, adjust. Oh my God. Like, I'm not just saying that. It's really, really good. Like, I taste the cilantro. I taste that lime zest, enough salt. So that's going to be a great base for our burrito bowl. All right, we're going to finish up our burrito bowl here, our kind of low carb, healthy burrito bowl. And I will show you what we're going to do here. So we have the great cauliflower rice. Remember, we talked about that and we made that. We shredded up the cauliflower. So, you know, when it comes time for like weight maintenance and try to be weight loss and things like that, you know, feel free to, you know, pile up on the veggies and like eat a lot of veggies and, you know, make sure you feel full, right? And you can always do that by adding more vegetables. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken. Again, if you didn't want chicken, you know, you could just add more vegetables. I just shredded up some chicken here. I think that's plenty. We have our yummy spinach, so we're just gonna add some nice greens. All right. I have a good sauce to put on there too, so don't you worry. You stay right there with me. Okay. Got our spinach. Okay, we're gonna go with our black beans. The black beans are delicious, right? Filling, healthy, you know, lots of good fiber. All right, our onions and peppers. Remember, we roasted those in the oven. You could have sauteed those, you know, either one. But again, like a nice, yummy veggie filler. A little more onion there. I love onions. Onions are great. Okay, we have some avocado we're going to put in there. Everybody loves avocado, right? A nice, yummy, nutritious fat. All right, so we're looking pretty good there. Now this is our, maybe a little more cauliflower, right? Fill in the gaps there. Okay, so this is our delicious roasted tomatillo sauce that we're going to be adding on top of our bowl. A nice, healthy, fruity, yummy sauce. Oh, a little bit of avocado there. Let's put him back in there. Yep, there we go. Okay. The tomatillo sauce, there's another video for it on the website if you haven't seen it or made it. It is delicious. Obviously, you could just put any kind of like store-bought salsa on here as well. But the tomatillo sauce is great for lots of different meals in the kitchen. So I'm going to put a little bit on the chicken here. I'm going to put a little bit over on the spinach here. A little bit more, maybe just a little bit over top of the rice, kind of on the edge there. This is such a yummy sauce. Well, look at that. I mean, that looks great. And certainly filling, and you have a lot of great nutrition on this bowl here. Lots of protein, lots of healthy fats with the avocado, the nice yummy fruity tomatillo sauce. So I hope this video has been inspirational for you guys. I hope you feel like you want to try something like this. Maybe I should try a bite for you. What do you think, right? I like my job. A little bit of rice, a little bit of chicken with the sauce. A little bit of onions and peppers, maybe a bean there. Spinach. Get a little bean. I think it's a good bite. Great. The cauliflower rice is so yummy. And the chicken. And the beans. It's not really that hard to cook healthy at home, my friends. It does take effort, but your health is worth it.